We're outside in the sunshine here at Vosper's Ford in Plymouth. Got a Mustang Mach. This is the 70 kilowatt hour battery, so it's a standard range car. Real world, it depends how you drive it of course, but real world about 250 miles worth of range. But only, 30 minutes to give it a 10 to 80% charge on a rapid charger. Finished in black, obviously. This car also currently benefits from 4 years 0% finance, which changes the affordability somewhat. Nice dark grey alloy wheels. The car has leather upholstery and sensors front and rear. This particular car is the 2022.5 model year, so unfortunately it doesn't have the benefit of the Blue Cruise option. Having said that, when you're down in this part of the world, you can't get to Blue Cruise until you get to Exeter. Let me show you the boot. It's got the charging cable in that box. This is a number plate carrier. So underneath we'll also have compressor and another bag. So what you have in this box is what you would call the Python cable. So that's the one for plugging into a proper wall charger, and the other one is if you need to plug into a standard 3-pin socket, which gives you that kind of flexibility as well. So really good from that perspective. Shut the boot. Love the tail lights. Proper Mustang heritage. Let's show you the interior. So looking at the back seats, so 3 adults across there, no problem at all. Do have a centre armrest when you've not got that third adult with cup holders. You do also down the bottom here have USB-C and USB charging points as well. And as you can tell, obviously it's leather upholstery as well, so really nicely appointed. On the Mustang, to open the door you actually push this button here, so on the rear door it pops it open slightly for you, which is quite nice. Coming across to the front, I'll show you that. So looking into the front again, obviously the leather upholstery. No transmission tunnel of course with an electric car, so you do get additional storage. So down under here. Let's just jump in. So let's turn Madonna down and fan speed. Turn that off. There we go. So the car's not been PDI'd yet, so we'll come up with different warnings on the dashboard there. But lovely, simple dashboard that tells me I've got 21 miles worth of range and 8% battery, which to be fair, do you know what? It's no different than being in reserve on a petrol car. Coming down, got cruise control, speed limiter. This button here varies the distance between you and the car in front, and then you've got a lane departure warning system here as well. Coming across, volume controls for the radio, answering the phone, all of that sort of stuff is there. Car's got auto lights and auto wipers. It's really simple to use from that perspective. Coming across to the main screen, so let's just change the view a bit. So what you can see here then is the fact that we can see that we've got absolute 90s on the radio, and that's about all we can see. But if we then come to setting here, we can then see the fundamentals of our operating system. So we might want to go to navigation, and it turns the screen into a large navigation screen. And you literally hit where to, and you can then type in. Really simple. Then come back to here. So again, we can see Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. They're both wireless, and the car does have wireless charging as well, which is quite useful. Come back. So hit the picture of the car, gives us a whole host more information. So I can unlock the front trunk, or the frunk as it's called, from inside the car. Most of the time that's where your power cable lives, so makes that nice and easy to get to. Coming to drive modes, let's just go with access to finish that. So you can unplug the charge cord if it's charging from inside the car as well, and open the boot. Drive modes changes your mode. You have the mode you're in. So currently in Whisper, go to active, and then the car is slightly more dynamic. Go to untamed, and it then is a little bit more dynamic again in respect of throttle response, weight of steering, things like that. You've also got one pedal drive down here. So currently that's off, but one pedal drive would have essentially reduces your requirement to use your brake pedal by using the motor as a brake to then charge the car as you're going. So this takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you've got it, it's fantastic. Obviously got camera, so reverse camera, and another customer being famous now being on there. Driver assistance, so auto hold, which is when you're in traffic, you can push the brake pedal down a little bit harder, and then the car will just stay until you touch the throttle. Access we've talked about. Parking, so navigate to parking, that's actually quite a useful function, particularly in the environments you haven't been to before. Valet mode there basically allows the people to valet the car without having the key. Coming to settings gives us even more information. So phone list, obviously we've not got a phone paired, so it's not going to have anything. Charge, so it tells me, like I mentioned earlier, I've got 8% of battery and 20 miles worth of range. I do have the facility here to press and hold and reset, and that may give me a little bit more range. It now tells me I've got 22 miles worth of range, and that's fundamentally because I've been sat here talking whilst the car has been on. So it's effectively like having your petrol or diesel engine idling. Departure and comfort, so we can touch that one. So if we know when the car's PDI'd, this will do it. When we know we're going to leave at a certain time, you can actually then have the car pre-warm, and that actually maximises your efficiency with the car. Charging locations is your history of where you've charged the car. Personal profiles speaks for itself really, doesn't it? Driver assistance, so a whole host of options and functionality you've got there. Probably a bit too much to go into in this video, to be fair. So going to vehicle, again, that's about your general setup of how the car works. So it's things like, how do I want my lighting to work? So do I want auto high beam? Do I want welcome lighting? And how long do I want my delay for my headlights? So when you turn the car off, the headlights will stay on for 20 seconds. You could have it for 10 seconds, you could have it off straight away, or even 120 seconds. Yeah, loads and loads of information there, and useful if you do take the car abroad, the ability to switch across to kilometres an hour. Come to general, so that's about, are you going to record in miles or kilometres, PSI or a bar for your tyre pressures. So how your displays look is what display will do for you. So in terms of brightness and the information that's there. So clock's automatically set up. So connectivity, so in terms of having the car connected via Bluetooth, connected features. So that's about using the Ford Pass app and having the ability with the car communicating with your phone. Got vehicle hotspot. To be fair, I think most of the time it's better off just doing a hotspot off your phone. And mobile apps, things like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, departure and comfort. So, you know, what time are you going to set off on a Monday morning? And then the car warms itself up, which again, as I mentioned earlier, maximises its range on the battery. Then you've got the Ford Assistant there as well, so you can talk to the car. Loads and loads and loads, and more, to be fair, than I've covered there, is available within the car. Really, really clever and fantastic to use. All down at Vosper's in Plymouth.